For exercise 3-35-2, I've already gone ahead and started the new file, and for this particular exercise I'm going to use the top view, or the top plane, to create my sketch, because that's going to make this one a little bit easier. And once again, since I know that the total width of my part is only 4.5, I'm going to go ahead and zoom pretty far into this model so that I don't have to worry about scaling and stuff like that. Now, one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to start with a circle on the actual point that I need for one of the inside curves. And it could be an outside curve too. But we'll start with this circle, and I'm going to place one dimension on this circle. Okay, that's still way too big. So I want to shrink that down to a radius of 1 or a diameter of 2. Now I can actually begin to draw the rest of this part and have it look somewhat even as we go around. So we'll put another circle over here, and I want the same radius between those two circles. Circle right here, circle here, that's the same radius as this circle. Then I'm going to place a line that goes from here back, and that's going to represent the back edge of this. I'll do another line from here to the back to represent this piece, and then I'm just going to draw a line that goes in, and I want it to go up to that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw this here and then connect it tangentially and then put a horizontal constraint on it. And I'm going to show you another way that you can do it on the other side. So there's my horizontal constraint. Okay, now with this stuff in place, I want to draw this stuff out this way, and since I already have one of those over here, what I can do is I can set this up to automatically have equal lengths and stuff on it. So when I start my line here, I'm going to bring this out until it has that L for equal, that L for equal, and then this will come right back to here, and everything should line up pretty good. Now I can go to the delete segment function, delete this segment in here, this segment, and I need that segment to go. I should not have deleted that segment, so let me undo that real quick. Sometimes it helps to remember exactly what the shape looks like before you start deleting segments. I needed that segment deleted, that segment, this segment here, this segment, and then these two segments. And then it's going to be the same trimming on this side, so that what I'm effectively left with is that overall shape. And everything should be tangential. For the most part, most of this stuff is going to have the proper dimensions on it already because of the dimensions that I've already placed. So what I want to do now is I want to change this dimension to 1.25, because that's ultimately what that's going to be. It is 2.25 from here to here, so I'm going to create a dimension from here to here that will be 2.5, and that's going to shrink that down. The radius of this one here is going to be equal to the other radius, so I'll put this in. This is 0.5, and I know that's way over there, but I'm just going to bring it here just so you can see it. 0.5, and then I'm going to do one more right here, but I shouldn't even need it. Yeah, because I already have the SD0 dimension, which is right here, that's telling that thing how big it's supposed to be. The only thing that I'm necessarily missing at this point is the distance across here, or the distance of this. So we'll put a dimension in here for this, and that 0.5 has already got it locked into place. The 2 has the other half of it locked into place, and it's got the equal constraints pretty much everywhere else. So it would appear that I do not need that dimension. There are no other weak dimensions in this, so now I am ready to finish this sketch and do my extrusion. So I finished the sketch, I extrude, and just so that I can take a little bit of a look, this is going to be 0.5, and I'll hit the green checkbox, and then we'll come in here and select this face for our next sketch. Now this is another one of those situations where I like to be able to see exactly what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the use button, and I'm going to use that line right there. Now I'm going to draw a line straight up, and I'm going to close that, and then draw another line straight up of equal length and close that off. Now I can go ahead and draw an arc, and what this is going to ask me is to just pick the 2 points of that arc, and now I've got my arc in place. So now I can begin to dimension this thing, but first I need to remove segments. So I'm going to remove this segment here, and I'm going to remove this segment here. That's going to give me something that I can actually use when it comes time to extrude. So this dimension right here is going to be a radius of 0.625. The distance that we can record for this piece right here is 0.5. And then we need a distance that locates this thing to the left or to the right, depending on where it's actually going to sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to orbit around, and I see that I do have an axis here. And the reason I have that axis is because I started this thing on this plane, the default plane. So the weak dimension that it's showing me to the edge of this piece, if this whole thing is going to be 1.5 wide, and the width from this straight edge to this straight edge is 2.5, this weak dimension is going to require a little bit more math that I'm willing to do. So I'm going to go from here to here and place the dimension this way. That way I can just put in 1.25, and that's going to center that piece up. Hit the check mark, and now I'm going to go to extrude, and I want this to go the other way, 0.5, and hit the green checkbox, and that's going to put this piece here in. I can now select this face and do another new sketch, and now I want to use this arc that goes around here, because that's going to give me a center point that I can work with. Now I can go ahead and remove segment, and just, well, I'm not going to do that quite yet because I want to use this to actually locate this circle. So I'm going to locate my circle on here and change the weak dimension to a diameter of 0.5, and then I'm going to try to go ahead and do this without deleting this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to give me an open profile that's not going to allow me to extrude. See? So what I want to do is I want to go back into my sketch, sketch 3, edit that definition, and now I can just use the remove command to remove this. This, since this was created from that center point, this is where it needs to be. So I can just finish this, then I can use the extrude. I want it to go through all, flip the other way, and remove the material. Once I have that, I've got this assignment completed. Again, this is exercise 3-35-2.